Ah, yes, come in. Our featured presentation is about to start. You have entered into cult cinema with the dastardly evil Cheese Film and my partner in crime, Hecubus. This is the Grindhouse Podcast. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I am your host, Cheese Film, and joined with me today is the dastardly Hecubus.
Yes, I am dastardly. Let me twirl my mustache.
And today we will be discussing everybody's favorite spooky Halloween movie. Halloween. In particular, Halloween's 1978.
Number one, right?
2018.
The direct sequel to it.
And The Season of the Witch.
The number three. The
Halloween 3.
often maligned.
Yeah, often
it used
overhated.
to be maligned, and now it's not so much. But anyway, let's start with Halloween.
Yeah, we'll start. This is a legacy podcast. We're talking about my favorite slasher movie.
Yeah, it's mine too.
It might be one of my favorite horror movies, indeed.
I was watching, it gives me the creeps, man.
Oh, every time.
It does. And they did it, when we start talking about 2018, they did a good job with that too. But
perfect sequel.
yeah, and this, all right, Halloween, 1978, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill basically created this whole thing.
Yeah.
And there were other maniac killer movies before this, but this is really the first one, I think, with a mask. It's definitely the first one that became into the zeitgeist, a real popular one, and spawned Friday the 13th and everything that stuff after that. And it was the downfall of Halloween 3.
Right.
They started that, only wanted to do it once, and then we'll talk about Halloween 3 when we get to Halloween 3. But yeah, they
knocked it out of the park. It's a first.
It's all suspense too, and then it gets paid off, but it's all suspense.
And it's suspense done in a way that doesn't feel like boring.
No, I don't think it's boring either.
Like a lot of times I'm like, oh well, it's just building suspense. I find it to be boring.
Yeah,
because they're not building correctly.
Right.
This, because you start out with the killer, and the killer being a twist.
Yeah,
a little boy.
At the very beginning, you got that Randy Official. It's a little kid,
just a little boy,
for whatever reason too. No reason given. Watches his girlfriend and her boyfriend hook up. Mm-hmm. Kills her.
And you get from his point of view.
Yeah, that's great too. When he's just looking at the knife.
Yeah, like chilling. It's very chilling when the mask comes off, because it's all in the point of view of Michael behind the mask. You don't know
and right up until they take the mask off. It's all his POV.
Yeah, you don't know what he looks like. You don't because the poster of the movie is just a hand with the knife and the pumpkin
turns into a pumpkin,
and it says the night he comes home.
The night he
and I think like Black Christmas might have come out before this. And
it did
stuff like that where like the first kill, it's not a prequel kill. It's just the first kill of the movie.
Right.
Where this one you get it's a child.
Yeah.
Michael, the 2 times you see Michael's face in this movie is a little boy, and then once in the shadows.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because when he dons that mask, he's the shape.
Yeah.
I love that too.
Yeah. He's credited as the shape.
Yeah. And then how they've written it too is every time Michael wasn't wearing the mask, it was Michael. But every time Michael's in the mask, it's just referred to as the shape, because it's a different being. It's the devil himself.
Yeah.
It's
evil incarnate.
Evil incarnate. It's creepy.
It is. And Donald Pleasance gives a lot of expositional kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of. He's telling it to the cop, for example, and he's like this. He just sat there staring at the wall, through the wall, and he's just pure evil. Death has come to your town, he says.
Yeah, I love that.
That's great. And of course, nobody believes him.
Nobody does.
And for a long time, nothing happens.
No.
They don't know about, because Michael Myers, I really saw he gets into a station wagon that they're going to have to transport Michael Myers from where he is to another place.
Yep.
They're going to get him. And that's creepy too, with the just insane people wandering around in the rain.
The darkness.
And, it's not killer or anything, but it's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, he busts the window and you can see the wrench. And I really saw the wrench this time.
Oh, did you?
Usually I don't notice it, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's a wrench, all right, to make the window smash.
I kind of want to touch on that because he's a grown man now who escapes the asylum and goes back to Haddonfield to.
He's 21.
Kill everybody.
Yep.
And there's a whole well, how does he learn how to drive? How does he know how to drive? Blah blah blah. And even in this, he's like, well, he shouldn't know how to drive. And
he's not like he can drive. And
says, well, somebody must have taught him.
One of your people, because he was doing pretty good last night. He's like on 11 all the time too.
He is cranked up.
He is.
And you know what? The energy he brings in, I think, is why it helps it so much. Because when it's just the Laurie stuff building up to.
She's being stalked by Ben.
But
you know what? Because I'm so glad they retconned it too. It's so stupid in Halloween 2 that they didn't want to make that she's got adopted by other people and changed her name, and he knows that. It's too
sense.
stupid.
I like the idea that they're related, but they haven't been able to execute it in a way that
not at all, not good.
Because it's poetic that they would be related.
Yeah, it is poetic in a way, and a twist for Halloween 2.
Yeah,
because you got to have something.
You remember when Family Guy did the Lois's brother murdering fat kids?
Yeah.
Is that based off this?
I don't think so.
Well, I think that's just a serial killer.
Yeah.
Well, you said they were related, so that's why.
Well, they are related. Lois and Lois's brother are related.
Yeah.
But I think Lois's brother is more. Lois's brother is more of just a generic.
Yeah, regular old serial killer.
Yeah. But so, it's really funny because we'll go back to what I was saying. So all the Laurie stuff is shot not spookily, it's just kind of 70s cinematography. If you've seen any of Carpenter stuff, it's nothing out of the ordinary. But then you take the music out and Laurie's walking down the street.
Right.
And she sees some guy in a costume who's standing behind a bush.
Yeah.
No big deal. They walk past. He's not there. Okay, whatever. And they just keep going.
Yeah, they do.
She's like, oh, that's weird, but she's not paying much mind to it. Mm-hmm. But then you go back and you've got that music in it.
Yeah.
And it makes it chilly.
Yeah.
It makes it not chilly.
Even the jump scare music is really good. Yeah.
Oh my, that's my favorite. I love that.
My favorite is just the thump at the end. You know what I mean? That I love that stuff. But Laurie goes to drop the keys off because her dad's a realtor.
Yeah.
And it happens to be the Myers house. And he sees her, and that's the only reason he's killing her, because that's the first person he saw.
Yep.
And then he stalks her. She's at this school, and she sees him outside. And then you get that she's kind of getting a little wiggy from it.
Uh-huh.
But trying to be, she's a teenager, so she's not going to be crazy about it. Because when she's in her room and she sees him outside
in the laundry,
she looks away all the time, and then he disappears. She's only staring at him, and he disappears in that one. So I think that one, it really is in her head. She is starting to get crazy with it, and it
was just spooky. What if he was there?
Right,
kind of thing.
Yeah, freaked herself out.
Yeah, because she doesn't react to him disappearing either.
Yeah,
she just kind of looks. And then looks away.
And then she sees him by the bush, and her friend goes to confront him, and which is her downfall, because she yells, "Hey, speed kills, a-hole," or something like that.
And he stops.
Yeah, and he's going to kill. That's the only reason he's killing them is because he saw Laurie, and then he saw Laurie with her friends. You can show that picture, Randy Official, the three of them together, and that's the whole reason. Yep. That's why they're the only people he knows. So I'm going to kill him. Yeah. Because you don't kill the little Tommy kid.
No, who runs into him?
Yeah, boy, that was cool. God, that's so cool.
So good.
Everything in this movie is great.
And so there's a couple things I want to talk about with the driving stuff, but then there's also something I want to kind of talk about because there's a big long take in this, and he doesn't like a kid runs into him, and then like walks away.
You talking about the trick or treaters?
Yeah,
yeah,
and like he's not out just to go on a killing spree. There's a rhythm to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And it's still light out then too. You
Yeah,
don't start killing people till it's dark.
The biggest strength this movie has is it being a lot of it is in the daytime.
Yeah.
He's just walking around in
just
the daytime.
with that stupid mask on.
Yeah.
That he stole from a hardware store. Now you know the cops are looking for you. Well, you should if you're not a crazy person.
Yeah.
And he's just walking around with the mask on and some overalls that he stole off a dead guy that he happened to kill.
How he got there is not what we're worried about. But if you watch this movie and you like slow it down at the parts where he's in the car, and I don't think it's Nick Castle in the suit. It's just the stunt driver.
I think it is, and the only time it's not is in the closet.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, you can watch Nick Castle obey the rules of the road.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. Like you have to like get right up on your TV to see him look both ways before he crosses an intersection.
I did not notice that.
And it's like the whole time he's literally like driving a car.
Right.
Probably because that was somebody's car.
Yeah.
And they had to be careful with it.
Or maybe they didn't get permits for driving.
Or that.
And they just, we do it anyway.
And it's just fun because the movie is menacing.
It really is.
But then there's parts like that where, you got to chuckle. Like seeing the wrench in his hand or watching him like look both ways before he crosses the street. All that kind of stuff. It's fun. But then we move on to the sun starts going down.
Yep.
Donald Pleasance is on his trail, really. They said he's going to go back to the Myers house. And he did.
Yep.
And he had some lunch. He had a dog. And he pulled out his sister's headstone.
Yeah.
For what reason? I don't know.
No idea. Because he's crazy.
Well, those things are heavy.
Yeah.
Like really, really heavy.
Yeah. And he's a force of nature, so.
I also like how he is a force of nature. Like it's either supernatural or it's.
And in this one, it's all force of nature kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's death that's come to that town. Literally, he's death.
Yeah. It's not, man, because everybody wants to kind of explain his powers and stuff like that.
Right.
Cause,
and he don't really have powers in this.
But he is super strong.
He is really strong. And he's resilient because he does get shot.
A couple times.
And stabbed in the neck with the hanger and everything.
Yeah.
He should be dead.
When he falls off of the second story of that house. He gets in a lot of pickles, but he always manages to get himself out of it.
That darn Michael Myers in a pickle again.
So the sun starts going down. We think he's going home, but he doesn't go home. Instead, he is in Laurie's
He's stalking
house.
Laurie, yeah.
And I think he's in Laurie's house for a little bit, but then he leaves to go across the street. And it's one of my
the girl
favorite
that was
kills.
In the car?
Not in the car.
All the suspense and that when she's locked in these people have their laundry room outside in the shed in the back.
Yeah.
With a wacky door that doesn't work right. And you see him and you're just waiting for him to kill her. Mm-hmm. And it's nail biting. It's perfect. It's so good.
And it's quiet.
It's quiet.
And you've got not Cronenberg, Carpenter. I think it's on a synth and like a xylophone. Uh-huh. It's got like a hum and then like the bing, bing kind of stuff, and then breathing. You hear the
him
breathing in the
that
mask.
Yeah,
and does it make your skin crawl?
It really does.
It's so well done.
It's like Darth Vader. It's
Yes.
that iconic.
And then he does. He's in the car with her. She strangles him, and he does do a little bit of a look at her.
That's your favorite kill?
No.
Okay.
It's when he goes inside, and he's got the sheet over him.
Yeah. Well, first, her friends, one's played by PJ Souls, and her boyfriend come over to fool around and stuff and have a party because those parents are gone.
Yeah.
And he goes down to get her a beer. And then Michael Myers, this is that guy one, Randy Official.
He's looking at him.
Lifts him up with one hand, so you see how strong he is, and sticks the knife in him.
And he stays there.
Yeah.
With the knife. And that, I love it.
And he just looks at him.
He looks. And tilts his head to both sides. And he's just looking at him.
But yeah, when he puts that sheet on with the guy's glasses,
yeah.
Come on, man.
Hilarious.
That's great.
I love it. And then it's spooky.
Yeah,
it is. Because we know what's under there.
Right.
She doesn't. She thinks it's
he's just
her
goofing
boyfriend.
off.
Yeah. And he gets her.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
He gets her by, that's the sheet one with the phone. And yeah, she's on the phone with Laurie. And Laurie thinks she's goofing around.
Right.
But she's being murdered.
And she looks out at the older house and he's carrying her body out.
Oh my God. When Tommy sees it's the girl with the car in the car. And you just, he's seeing what he's seeing. And then he says it, nobody believes him.
No, it's a boogeyman.
Yeah, it's the boogeyman.
Oh, I love that. And he really
they
is
keep
a boogeyman.
saying that too. Like the kids pick on him about the boogeyman. Then he's like, talks to Laurie about the boogeyman. And he's like, there's no such thing. And then at the end, he's like, was that the boogeyman? And it's either Laurie or Dr. Pleasant. He's like, yes.
Yeah.
That's all he says.
Love
yes.
It. And I love how it's like the boogeyman is like a folky kind of story you tell. And so to have him in, because the Michael Myers mask is so lack of detail.
Yeah, it's nothing. And you can't see his eyes. No, and it's just black.
So beautifully imperfect. I don't know, later on in the series with the
oh no, this is the only
6.
one, maybe 2 they use that. It's a Captain Kirk mask inside out. And they painted it white.
Well, no, I'm talking about because in the eyes, like I know in 5 at least, I know you see his eyes.
I think 5 has the CGI.
The CGI mask.
Every mask from beyond this movie to 2018 is garbage.
It's so bad.
It is, and
even the one in Halloween 2, they say it's the same mask. There's no way
I don't think it is.
It's so different, or they didn't, because it's not just a Captain Kirk mask turned inside out. Because they took the hair off, too, and gave it new hair. That one, I think they just took a Captain Kirk mask and painted it white.
Right.
Because it looks more like that than it does.
Yeah. Halloween 2 is okay. And then you got to just be in the mood for the rest of them are stupid.
Yeah, they're not.
And they have they try to do that Thorn thing where it's a cult, some kind of cult and all that, and it just doesn't work for me. And I think it diminishes Michael Myers as a character.
Yeah, as just a force.
So that when they redid it, I'm glad they did it the way they did.
I like the idea of a cult behind it.
I don't mind that.
But don't
not for this.
Don't have it resurrect him. All that. Have it be a bunch of weirdos who are idolizing this guy.
Right.
That would have been fine.
You could do that because people do that.
They do, and it would have been even more creepy.
Yeah. He probably didn't know that then, though. I think that's more a modern thing where you and I know that.
Right.
People
In retrospect,
do that stuff.
Yeah. But it's bone chilling.
It is.
It's haunting the entire time. There's nothing. You're never quite comfortable.
Yes,
watching this movie.
You're right.
And then we go to, was it 30 years later? 40 years later when the 2018 one came out?
Is that how you want to do it? Go to 2018?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do that one and then.
I think it's 40 years because it came out on October 19th. No, Halloween.
We're
new
one.
To the one
also called Halloween.
It's got Jamie Lee Curtis and Halloween and Michael Myers in the pit poster. It just says Halloween, and it came out on October 19th. What'd you say?
It's 40 years later.
Michael Myers is the character's 40th birthday is when the movie premiered. They did that on purpose, obviously. So 40 years, and he looks 40 years older.
He does. He ages.
That picture should be on there, Randy Official, where he's in this asylum.
Yep.
And
chained to the floor.
Yeah, that's his time outside. And he's just standing there. It's so weird.
Everybody else is kind of moseying a little bit, there's more life to him, and it's nothing.
No, he just stands there.
He's just
until
vacant.
Those podcasters pull that mask out, and everybody goes nuts.
Oh, my.
And he goes nuts by just... Turns his head a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a call that so at the beginning of Dark Side of the Moon, there's it's very quiet. and then everything starts building up. You hear the ticking, and then
I think it's called Pulse.
Yeah, the very opening track, right before it gets to breathe or speak.
Yeah,
to
and
me.
the plane comes over and
And
everything.
yeah, that snippet is how in my head I always hear the opening of Halloween 2018.
That's pretty cool.
Because and then they smash cut to the title card and the new updated synth music starts playing. All the music, by the way, all done by John Carpenter.
Yeah, again.
And his kid helped this time.
Is that from the Carpenters?
No.
Okay.
Listen, Dimension Films, whoever put this new one out. Oh, hang on.
Blumhouse.
Yeah, Blumhouse and is it
Is it
20th Century
Dimension?
Fox? Anyway, they did the first one. Then they did the second one, and John Carpenter's like, I don't want to do it like this anymore. It's supposed to be this. So he sold the rights to Dimension Films. They put out all the next ones. And then they didn't put one out. Oh, they sold it to the Weinstein Company. And the Weinstein Company didn't put out a movie in time, so it reverted back to John Carpenter. He sold it to Blumhouse and somebody else. And they're the ones that put the new ones out in post-haste. And they did a good job. I did.
I'm not the world's biggest fan of the other two in this trilogy.
I like them, but
I like how they don't pull their punches.
Not at all.
I love that.
Holy crap.
It's
brutal. It is brutal.
And it's, again, the first time since the first one where he looks intimidating.
Yep.
He looks scary.
Yeah.
And they recreate
Big.
certain things. Huge.
Yeah.
Like, whole. They recreate certain things from the first one, like the trick-or-treaters running into him.
Yep.
They do a whole nice long take.
4 minutes.
I love the shot.
Killing people, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
In their house. I love the shot where he puts the mask on from their trunk.
I was just going to talk about that.
Absolutely think they should have waited for us to see what that mask looks like on him until the end of that long take.
Yeah,
when he
that
looks
would've been
into
cool.
the window
Yeah.
and it flex.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Oh my god!
But that
So
part
good.
too. So the premise of the new Halloween 2018, these podcasters
like us,
except they do true crime.
yeah,
They want to. He's going to be moved again,
yeah,
and they're doing a thing about
like
it.
expose or something,
Right.
Like
And they want to talk to him, and they want to talk to Laurie. So they to go to him, get no response,
Nothing.
even pulling out the mask and everything, which signals to him, "You're a victim because I saw you." So they're at a gas station, and okay,
oh my god,
Yeah.
this whole sequence is
right
so
before that night,
good. I might
that
go
night,
watch this again.
He kills a guy and his son.
Yeah,
And steals their car. You see it go into the gas station while he's pumping gas. She says, "I got to go take a dump." So she goes in the bathroom. The car comes by. That's Michael Myers.
yeah.
So the time it takes him to pump that gas, he's killed 2 people inside. Put the overalls on. It's insane.
Ripped out the guy's
his
teeth.
Yes, God Almighty. Because when he drops them, that was in the trailer too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a good movie.
I
Holy
love how
crap.
they don't let you see his face either.
Yeah, that's great.
You can kind of see bits of it, but it's
Yeah.
always obscured.
You see that he's got a beard and it's white now.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then he puts the mask
And then he
on.
puts them, and it's all kind of slow and deliberate. Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, and the music, man. The
Yeah.
music of these movies are so good. I think the best thing John Carpenter does is
He does music great.
make his
Atmospheric.
music for his movies.
Yeah, like The Thing.
Oh,
Great.
nobody could have done it better.
No. Nobody could have done it better.
Because he's an artist, kind of like David Lynch, where
Yeah.
he knows exactly how it wants to look,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows exactly what it wants it to sound like.
Yeah.
Flawless.
Or Quentin Tarantino, but
Or
he uses
Tarantino.
Other people's music, but he hears those songs with when he's thinking about the scenes that he puts them in.
Yeah.
And
And
they kind of go together.
it's just it works. It works in a way that it's hard to explain. You know,
Mhm. It is hard to explain.
It's like everything just falls in.
Mm-hmm.
It all just works.
It really does.
Uh,
He's the master at it,
Oh yeah.
I think.
And then they kind of they kind of just redo the first movie.
Kind of. And again, Now it's also like, what would happen? So he's a nut job. He's in an insane asylum.
Yeah.
What about Laurie? Well, she's got some severe
a victim
PTSD.
and ain't going to be a victim again.
Oh, that's right. And she goes on, has a life. She gets married, has kids, has a daughter, and then a granddaughter. And a fortress
of a house.
Yeah. Designed just in case he ever
comes.
gets out. But again, he just goes to Halloween, starts murdering people.
Yeah.
And then she pretty much gets in his way.
She intersects.
Right. It's not because it's his sister that he's doing this.
No.
He might recognize her, and that's why he now pursues her to her house.
But he doesn't pursue her. That's what's so great about I love how misleading the marketing is for these three movies, because they're like, oh, they're finally reuniting. She goes home.
Yep.
She goes home. She takes her daughter, and the granddaughter is at a party.
At a dance, yep.
The new Loomis,
yeah, I love when they say that too,
brings Michael to her.
Right.
He's not there to do that. He got hit by her car, got knocked out. I love when he wakes up in the back of the car. Yeah. Because I think she touches the mask or something like that. Because he had it on. The new Loomis has it on. Takes it off, throws it in the back, and she's like terrified because you just put her in the lion's den.
Yeah, really.
And then she looks down, the mask isn't there anymore. She looks up, and he's looking at her, then looks forward and just crushes him.
Yeah. The doctor,
and kills
you mean?
him. Yeah.
Yeah, literally crushes his head.
Yeah. And
with his foot. It's disgusting.
Horrible. Fine. Then I think they're around that area. So she just goes to that house.
Her house, right?
Yeah, the cops show up, and he makes a jack-o'-lantern out of the cop's head. Yeah. Kills the dad.
Yep, kills the dad.
Which I didn't expect to happen.
And then he's just basically trying to get in the house.
To get them.
Right. When he's got the arm through the window, I love that part too.
Shoots his fingers off.
Yeah. And they stay gone.
Oh my God, I love that she does not mess around.
Yeah.
It's so... Because there's a part where you think he's going to get her.
Yeah.
And the camera like does this like whip zoom into the closet. And he's like, I got you, bitch, or whatever. And like shoots him out the window and stuff like that. And then she looks and he ain't there anymore.
Right. Just like in the first one.
And he's like, okay. Like the game's afoot. Now instead of being like just a horror movie, it's like an exciting like
cat and mouse game.
Cat and mouse, yeah. Because they're two equal forces now.
Right.
I love that. I love how it's like she's not gonna be a victim again.
Right.
I do like how that's
carried. Or a final girl. I
love how that's carried throughout the three movies too, because you would think in the third one of this trilogy she's gonna be just like she is. She's old, retired. Nobody's seen him in a year.
Yeah.
He's presumed dead. She's written a book. Blah 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 blah. He gets to her house immediately. She's like, I got you now. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
But in all these movies, it's never their reunion. It's other people reuniting them.
Right.
Against both of their wills.
Yeah.
Because even in that one, the little Michael Myers wannabe brings him to her.
Right. Right.
And I called it. I said, he's going to kill him. He's not loyal.
No, he's not. He's a monster.
Yeah. He's the Shape.
Yeah, he's the Shape. But in 2018, I love, too, at the end when... they trick him. Yeah. Like, even the daughter's in on the trick.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, my God. Then he comes down there and she's like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Gotcha, bitch. And he's just staring up at him and flames.
Fire. Yeah. Oh, my God.
And that is a good line from the second
shot.
one. When they're like screaming, just let him burn. And then in the second one, he tears those firemen up. It's terrible.
It is.
But it's great. He just stands there, too, where the flames are coming on him. It's great.
Because when that movie ended, there's the shot of the granddaughter with the knife, and everybody was thinking like, oh, she's going to be the next one.
Right, like they did in the
other
ones.
Don't do that.
Nope.
I'm so glad they don't do that. And horribly, Michael ends up getting every single one of these Strode people. I was so surprised about that.
So
Again,
was I.
because you wouldn't expect that. You would think that, okay, well, it's the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter.
Right.
You know, it's the trio. The girl, the I don't want to say the girly trio, but like your top girls, right? They're going to do it.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
Nope. And in the second one, he kills the daughter right away. Isn't it the second one?
It was
at the end of the second one, right?
At the end of the second one, he kills Laurie's daughter.
Right, yeah.
I think like breaks her neck or something, cuts her head off. Like it's not just an off-screen death either. Like they beat him to death, and he gets back up.
Yeah, they beat him senseless, and then like something snaps in him, and he just stands up and tears them
the whole
apart.
Town.
Yeah,
he goes on like a rage.
Halloween Kills is really good too. The second trilogy, I guess you want to call it,
are better than any of the other ones.
Yeah, the first one, and then you jump right to the other one, and it's, even the time jump makes sense, and they did a great job.
It just works.
And I can't believe Danny McBride wasn't part of this, because
Danny McBride,
he's good. I'm not saying that, but he's an a-hole, funny a-hole.
Yeah,
and it's great, like some kind of redneck scumbag.
Yeah. He's like Walmart's Seth Rogen is what I've always looked at him as.
And I believe that is him.
Yeah.
Not that he's a person playing that. I just believe that's him.
But he was the main guy behind this.
Yeah, right.
And he really did like knock it out of the park.
He did.
Even with the ones I don't really like.
Yeah, he I think his name was Assad or Akkad or something like that, the original producer.
Yeah.
They ended up, him and his daughter got killed in a terrorist attack in Jordan, but his son produced that new one. And like Jamie Lee Curtis recognized him and stuff like that. They pitched an idea to him and Blumhouse, the idea they ended up doing. And because they were going to do other stuff too with the wacky Thorn stuff. And there was a whole script already that got rejected. And then they came in and pitched what they ended up doing to Akkad there and Blumhouse, and they ran with it, and I'm glad they did.
Oh, me too. So like the evil lives on, the legacy is strong. It's so good, and
it even ends. It ends good.
It does.
The third one is the weakest of these four, because screw it, I'm counting the first one. So, and it's the weakest by far of them. But it has a good finale.
It does.
I think. A good closure.
I kind of think that they shouldn't have done Michael in that one. They should have had the new he
guy.
Died.
Yeah.
So it's just another guy. Another guy is just the evil spirit that is Michael Myers.
And they kind of set up why he would be. He got shunned by society.
Yeah.
For an accident that happened, and that's kind of what drives him to it. And you go that way.
Yeah, they do
you can do that.
Rob Zombie origin for him.
Yeah, kind of.
It's not his fault. He just had a dysfunctional family.
I wasn't even thinking about the Rob Zombie ones when I would talk about the sequels and stuff, but I do not like them.
I like how brutal they get.
They do are brutal.
And I like how
a couple,
he looks.
I don't care for him.
He's also huge.
He is. I think it's Taylor Dane plays him in that. And yeah, he's enormous.
He's
a giant shape.
Yeah. So when I did the intro for this, I said Halloween 2018, and Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
I did not call it Halloween 3 because I don't think you should.
I can go there with you.
They didn't do the anthology.
That's what they wanted to do, a night gallery kind of thing, standalone movies. A maniacal killer comes back to his hometown and wreaks havoc. Done. Next one. Move on to something
corporate
else.
Organization makes bug-infested evil monster masks.
Well, it's called Season of the Witch because it blends technology and witchcraft.
Yeah.
You getting all this with the pictures, Randy Official? I keep wanting to call you your real name. Anyway, so and that's kind of why it's called Season of the Witch. Also, Season of the Witch was a George Romero movie from 1973, which I'm going to watch. I just found out about it.
Yeah, you telling me this for the first time too. That sounds cool.
Have you never heard of it?
Not heard of it. Not even.
Yeah, George Romero made one. It's housewives that get into witchcraft in 1973. So
that sounds cool.
It sounds great.
I wonder if George Romero ever did anything else that he should have like copywritten.
Yeah. So the whole story is it's a conspiracy movie.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh,
and it gets
so well
me so
done.
good. I was like 13 when I seen this for the first time, and I could not get to sleep. I was terrified.
I even love the god awful song.
I don't mind the music in this movie whatsoever.
Not the music. The song.
When they're doing the credits.
4 more days till Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
That song.
That's great. But it sticks with you.
It does.
You can't.
It's in your head.
You would absolutely. This is one of the things that terrifies me about it too. It's so catchy. You're thinking about their masks all the time.
Yeah.
And I would have to make sure I had one if I was a little kid.
Yeah, I would have. We would have had
And
one.
you would have had them too, and we'd all be dead.
And and I love how we would have. And I love how they show the kids watching the ad, wearing the mask, dancing around with it, all getting excited, just like how they were. Really yeah, and it's so smart. It's so smart, and like the whole. I don't know what they are. They're like zombie clones because they're all the same guy. The henchmen.
The henchmen. Yeah, they're the main bad guy. Shoot, I forgot his name. Anyway,
C.
Yeah, he made dolls and stuff like that because remember he goes to his mother's sitting there knitting at one point, and Tom Atkins is like, "Hey, you got to help me get us out of here," and then the lady's head falls off.
Yeah,
it wasn't a real person.
They're dolls.
Yeah, and he makes robots that now with the technology.
When they're doing the autopsy of the car, and she's like, "I've got no human remains in here.
Yeah,
not even a sign that a human was in this car."
And then one of those guys. The violence is a little different in this one.
Yeah, it's
because that one he hits the drill, and then you just see his hand go, and you know what happened.
Oh, you do.
And it's just, ugh.
Or when he takes the
guy
in the eye, and rips up and cracks the skull from the nose. Ooh,
yeah.
Ugh.
And then that's where they get the parts from. He lights himself on fire.
Yeah,
right in front of the hospital.
I like how this. It is entirely its own thing. Like there's no kills that are stolen from Halloween. There is the only reference to Halloween is the ad for the movie,
right?
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it is. And that Jamie Lee Curtis does the curfew in 7 minutes.
Oh, I didn't know
That's Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah,
that's awesome.
The guy that does the the director of photography and editor of Halloween. His name was now it's going to take a picture. Tommy Lee Wallace. That was his name. He's the guy that ends up directing this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was going to be Joe Dante.
Oh, really?
But Joe Dante quit doing this movie to go do Twilight Zone.
Huh.
But yeah, that's his name. It's Tommy Lee Wallace.
Didn't Joe Dante get a couple kids killed in a helicopter?
It wasn't Joe. Was it Joe Dante? No, he did the cartoon one. No, I don't remember. Maybe it was Joe Dante. It might have been John Landis.
Or maybe it's John Landis. The Twilight movie, right?
Yeah, the Twilight Zone movie where the kids died with the helicopter.
Yeah,
thing. They were breaking all kinds of laws, making it, and
it's horrible, tragic.
That actor too. Yeah, it's a good episode too of that. The Twilight Zone is a great movie. It's great.
Dan Aykroyd's in it.
Yeah. You want to see something really scary? But yeah, he gave up doing this, Joe Dante, to make that movie. And then I think it was John Landis.
It might have been.
Because I'm picturing courtroom scenes right now, and I'm pretty sure it was John
Landis.
But he made the right choice.
Allegedly, we don't know.
Well,
we can't say definitively.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
Anyway, he... because after this, after the Twilight Zone, he made Gremlins and stuff.
There was the fantastic movie.
It is
fantastic Halloween movie.
And this is how it was pitched too, because they got a sci-fi writer to write most of it, and I guess 60% of the movie, you can, is his original stuff, and then John Carpenter and them tweaked with it a little bit. But he said we want to make a pod movie, not a knife movie. That's how they were coming at it, and they do.
Yeah, that's good. I like that because that's exactly what happens.
What?
Your thing is on low storage, so it reset.
Is the footage still good?
Yeah, 14 seconds right now.
Okay.
What do you mean it reset?
It stopped recording, started recording again.
Okay, so there'd be a little jump there.
Yeah. Well,
that's what
I'll put a picture up for the audio.
Okay.
Yes.
But anyway, so Well, it's about 40 minutes, and we can start wrapping it up. But
I love Halloween.
All right,
3.
one question though. What is the deal with this orange pumpkin getting ripped off his face?
That's the thing. And then make sure you show the woman with
the
her
woman.
face.
Oh my
The
God.
woman, that is Tom Atkins'
That was my
wife,
second question.
is her in real life.
All right, so put the woman up first.
So
Because she finds the chip.
she finds a chip and she's just in bed. There's a big, she's a big seller. The family guy, he's got him, his wife, and his son.
Mm-hmm.
They're the biggest sellers of these masks. And as a reward, they get to go to the factory.
Yes,
She would have ended up getting killed.
she would have.
She accidentally kills herself. She's playing around with the thing that's on the back of the mask.
The
and
activator.
The laser hits her in the mouth.
And
then-
explodes it. It's
And bugs start coming out of it and stuff.
Oh.
And that's the first time you're like, something's
this
way
is
what's
wrong.
going to go be happening.
Yeah.
And then the kid, the family, they show we're going to show you the show. So the kid puts the mask on and melts to his face. The kid, it melts to his face, and then snakes and giant bugs just start coming out, assumably where his mouth was.
Yeah.
And of course, the family's freaking out, and they end up getting killed by snakes and stuff. But
Terrifying.
that's where the witchcraft comes in, and that's where the blend of witchcraft and technology, because they had a time stealing a piece of Stonehenge, getting it to California, and putting a little chip of it in every one of those masks that's now going to do this. And that guy, he's all kinds of pissed off about Halloween and how it used to be a celebration and now it's kids begging for candy. That guy did not like the movie when he first saw it, but he does a great job in it. Great.
So good.
He is. So he's
menacing as hell.
Yes, menacing as hell. And then he's got the slow clap. You have to see it. Don't put Michael Myers out of your head and just watch Season of the Witch.
Just watch it. Just watch Season of the Witch.
It is good.
Like everybody says, watch the first Exorcist and then watch Exorcist 3.
Yeah, 3's great.
It's because it's just a good movie.
Yeah.
It's
well,
just
it
a
wasn't,
good movie.
Exorcist 3 wasn't supposed to be called Exorcist 3. It's just called Legion.
Yeah.
And it was based on that book. And the studio said, well, you got to call it Exorcist 3 or no one's going to go see it.
Yeah.
And it really
the guy
has nothing
who wrote
to do with it.
Did it.
Peter Blatty.
Yeah. So, it's at least what the author's vision was.
And that's got the jump scare in it. That's great.
But yeah, honest to God, man. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is underrated.
Underrated
it's
as hell.
Overhated, and it's so good.
It is.
It's like
right up to the end. It builds slowly, and then
it's like a roller
people
coaster.
get killed. Like I was just like, but also Tom Atkins plays a doctor, an emergency room doctor. He's kind of a dirtbag, and that woman, her dad is the one that gets his face
pulled
ripped off. Yeah. And she wants to know what happened. Mm-hmm. And he kind of goes along for the ride, and they both discover the conspiracy and all that. Then they escape from him and the girl escape from the factory. And the girl looks at him and just starts trying to kill him. It's a robot now. So, like, main characters die. You don't know what's going to happen at the end of this movie.
Right.
Because anything can happen. And then if you show that picture, Tom, of the guy screaming in the camera, there used to only be 3 stations in anywhere. And he calls up the first one, and he's like, you got to shut this off. People are going to die, blah, blah, blah. Shut it off. Calls the next one. You got to do the same thing. And then the last one, he's like, turn it on, screaming into the phone and then right into the camera. It's great. What an ending.
Yeah.
It's as good as, oh, my God, the murderer's not down there where he should be.
Right.
The guy that got shot, stabbed in the neck, and fell off a 2-story thing isn't there. And him screaming into the... Great.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So, since you did another monster movie, proof of concept wise only, because obviously the Frankensteins are going to be their own thing, than a slasher movie, which one is a better proof of concept, Frankenstein or Michael Myers? Because they both had, they were the big 3, the vampires, the Frankensteins, the werewolves, those, and now these are arguably the new monsters.
Yeah, they
Which
are.
do
the
you
new
like
ones.
more?
So the new monsters like Michael, Freddy, Jason.
Yeah.
I'm a Michael guy. I'm a hard Michael Myers guy. I think Halloween is better than both Nightmare and Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. It's not even Jason.
No,
The first one.
I
It's
think
kind
Friday
of a
the 13th
whodunit.
sucks. I
Huh?
hate Friday the 13th.
I like Friday the 13th, but it's because they're cartoony.
Yeah.
And that's really all I like about them. And then like Alice Cooper gets involved, and then Freddy gets involved. It's just stupid. Whereas I don't think Halloween is stupid. I think Halloween, as you're talking about proof of concept, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He is the iconic be-all, end-all
Now,
of slashers.
I will say Robert Englund put more into his character than anybody else.
Oh yeah, he's
Because,
great. I love Freddy Krueger.
he's
And they
very
get
good.
cartoony too.
But like when they were doing the voice and stuff like that, they were always going to slow his voice down and make it sound demonic.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted it to sound like how he was saying it. So what he would do is talk faster. So
good.
when they slowed it down, he'd talk faster and talk like a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Well, welcome to prime time." So when they sped it up or whatever they did, it sounded exactly how everybody wanted. He molded that character.
Right.
That was 100%. Like if a director was to come to you and say, "Hey, we're gonna shoot in a week. Come with whatever you got."
Right.
That's kind of what he did.
And he did a good job.
A fantastic job.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger is cool as hell.
I like to cut his,
Yeah,
his fingers.
I'm your boyfriend now.
This is God.
But Michael, he
But even
says
that-
nothing ever.
No, and he doesn't
They don't.
stop.
There's not one time he's like, "Ouch" or anything.
Nothing.
Never says a word.
He gets stabbed in the neck, falls down. She's crying in the corner, and then he just
Sits up and looks over. God, that's great.
I also, man, he does this lean in. They did the lean into the light a couple times.
Yeah, those are good too.
Oh, it's
They're
the
good.
best. I'm huge Michael Myers fan.
Yeah.
If you all are interested, I don't know if I showed you too. My friend had a college project, and his movie was like based off a slasher.
Oh, as you showed me that.
And it's called Special Delivery. And
That's the
I
one you're
play
in it,
the Michael Myers character.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I talk, but
Hey, I was also a slasher character in a college film.
shout out.
We should view the two and see who did it.
Yeah,
better.
you guys should do a podcast on our videos.
That would be a bad idea.
It's on my list as a short film, so
There we go. I got 2 of them.
there's 2. Yeah.
But we'll wrap this spooky episode of the podcast up.
Michael Myers, awesome. Halloween
Knocks out
3,
about-
awesome.
These 3 are the must watch 3.
Yeah, I think they're definitive.
Yeah, the Halloween spooky stories.
Yeah.
Check them
Happy
out.
Halloween.
Yeah. oh,
Happy
yeah.
Halloween.
Halloween 3 was called. It was the tagline was "The night nobody came home."
Yeah, it's on the Blu-ray too.
Yeah, and that's so good, and that's what they mean too.
Nobody comes home
Ugh.
because they're out trick or treating and they don't come back. But I have been Cheese Film.
Then I'm Hecubus.
This has been the Grindhouse Podcast with your technical director back there,
Hello.
Randy Official.
Happy Halloween.
Cheese Film out.